All right, so
All
everyone,
right.
I just
Would
want
you
to do
like
some
to?
housekeeping before he gets started. If you want to ask a question, go ahead and check out our example post down here. But we're first going to turn the page over to Sunyat, and he's going to explain and start us off.
All right. Hello, everyone. You probably already know a couple of us, but yeah, I'm Sung Yat. I am one of the moderators in the Magma Community Discord. But outside of that, I also work as a product associate at Magma. And today we've decided to host our first Magma Q&A, in which you have the opportunity to really come and meet a couple of the devs, in which we'll give you a couple sneak peeks about features that we're going to be releasing, as well as answering a couple of your questions. Um, not sure how much you know about the rest of the team, but I'll give the opportunity for everyone else to really introduce themselves. So, Wojtek, would you like to start?
Sure thing. So yeah, my name is Wojtek. I'm originally from Poland. I'm Chief Product Officer at Magma and one of co-founders. So my role is mostly meeting with artists, answering some of the feature requests, generally thinking about our roadmap, like how do we develop the product, like what are the features that can make Magma even more awesome. So this is kind of how my day usually looks like. Uh, and yeah, I guess that's the short intro.
All right, nice. I see lots of Polish. There's some Polish pride in the chat, Wojtek.
Nice.
Nice.
I'll pass it on to you then, Marta.
Hi everyone, my name is Marta. I'm a product designer for Magma for almost 2.5 years. And what I do daily at Magma is I'm trying to bring new features and make them usable for all of you people. And closely work with Wojtek on this. Who we both are trying to do all the good work and make it happen for you, all your requests, like the ones that you are posting in chat right now. So we are listening to them and trying to make it happen. So that's basically it. And oh yeah, and I'm also from Poland. So yeah, Team Poland. Thank
Yeah,
you.
Marta and Wojtek have been really hard at work with coming up with new features and also making lots of designs. And yeah, they will be also leading the charge in terms of talking about lots of the sneak peeks that we're going to be going on with today. I'll pass the mic on to Ryan, though I'm assuming, Ryan, you don't really need to give too much of an introduction to the rest of the Magma team.
Yeah, sure. So I'm not from Poland. I'm from South Africa, but kind of move around a little bit. My job is as the QA and tester. So after things have gone through the design process and then go to the developers to be implemented, it comes to me for testing before it rolls out to everybody else. Yeah, and my background is actually in fine art, not in software. So I'm more testing from the user perspective to know that things will work the way that you expect them to once you jump on a canvas. So yeah, that's me.
Perfect. And Alice, passing it on to you.
All right. So, hi, my name is Alice. I'm also from Poland. Um, I am a community support and a moderation associate for Magma. I started working for Magma last year, and well, my job is basically moderation. Sometimes you might see me moderating on the canvases. If there's some trouble, there's a big chance I will be there. Um, yeah. And also, if there's this blue bubble. If you need help, you can chat there. There's a big chance I will also be replying to you there. And yeah, I'm also a student at graphic design. And yeah, I think that's it for me.
Solid. Yeah, sometimes you might see Ryan and Alice just hopping onto canvases sometimes. Either when they hop in, they may not necessarily be moderating, they may just be here to just draw and really have lots of fun. Both of them, they make some really good work. When we pop over to like the Art Jam channel and when we look around, they just yeah, they're very passionate about like the art side of things as well. Not to say that the rest of us aren't, but like I would say Ryan and Alice especially so. And yeah, so that's a bit of an introduction to everyone else. You also do know Anya and you do know Yaga. I'm not sure if you two want to do a basic introduction yourselves. If not, we can kick things off.
Guys, the spotlight is all on you. I'm just here to make this chill and relax for you guys. So please, guys, take the spotlight. Take it away.
Yeah. So Yaga and I are Discord moderators, so we just help make the community safe for you guys and bring you activities.
And they do an amazing job at that, might I
Aw.
say.
Thank you.
All right. So let's start talking about some of the more exciting things then. So we have for you all today 3 sneak peeks into a couple things that we are currently working on, as well as teasers on other things that are in development. But I want to say that we're going to start off with possibly one of my favorite things that we're currently working on, which is the multiboard. Wojtek, I will pass things on to you. I'll be sharing my screen. And just so everybody knows, this is the dev environment, okay? This is where we all come together and upload new features and really start experimenting with most of the dev work, right? And as you can see, there are a couple things that you may not recognize. So for instance, there's a feed button, and there's also ads on the side. Ads are there as an experimentation of a different payment tier in which we might be interested in potentially making all features available for all Magma users. And then afterwards, having the paid plan be something else. Can't really go into too many details on it right now, but that's a bit of a spoiler into what we're really going to be looking towards. But first off, let's look towards the multiboard. All right, Wojtek, would you like to kick things off?
Definitely, yes. So multiboard, and for the record, the actual name that's kind of the, let's say, the development name we gave it. So not sure that's what's gonna end up once we release it, but this is the feature that we've been thinking about for a very long while, or I would even say that probably even like very early on, we kind of thought about this as in, it's great to collaborate on a single drawing together. But sometimes, especially working on some more challenging projects, or maybe even on a whole story, if you have just one canvas, you're quickly gonna run out of available space. So this is why we brainstormed about this, and we thought, what if you could actually expand this work to like go across multiple canvases, so that you literally can like build the whole projects, build the whole worlds within a single available space. So what you can see right now on the screen is Sungyat is created first board, but he's not limited to that. And if he zooms out, he can actually create like multiple of those next to each other. So like each of these boards is a canvas of its own. It has its own layers. It can have like its own list of users working on the canvas. So pretty much you can think of it like everything you can do on the single canvas but multiplied. I can see some reactions in chat, which is very cool. And like, to be honest, we already have quite a few ideas of how this could be utilized. And that's both for some professional projects where when you're working on something where maybe you want to have like free revisions for your customers, or maybe you're making commissions, you just want to share with someone free versions. But recently, as we released art gems and like some other features where like a lot of you can kind of find other users to draw with, we are also kind of brainstorming what could this bring into like on all of those like social events. Like imagine maybe it could be about like building more, not just jamming for fun, but maybe building some idea of a world with different characters, different levels, and so on. So overall, we still have a couple of things we need to polish before giving early access, but we are very excited kind of to show the sneak peek and kind of pick everyone's brain of like how would you imagine using this if you were able to create multiple of these boards. So yeah.
Yeah, excellent. This is the multiboard. Like, we've been experimenting on it for quite some time. I would say, was it you, Wojtek? Was it you and Roddick who mainly led the charge here? I wasn't really sure who was the main developer involved in the multiboard development process.
Yeah, so Radek, who is, I think Radek is in the audience, is one of the co-founders of Magma as well as the actually like original creator of the first like collaborative drawing engine. So and he's been like involved in this project for quite a while. It really was like as far as I know, like it was a really big challenge because like maybe that's not to get too technical, but like working with like so there's some software that's collaborative that is based on the vectors, but in Magma, we are working with pixels, with images, and that's pretty much a lot of data. So anytime we try to like give you all access to like larger canvases, not even mentioning multiple canvases, it really quickly gets to the point where the laptops start boiling and the like mobile phone starts crashing. So I think a lot of work was around that, like figuring out smart ways to kind of develop in a way where this kind of feature can work on all of the devices, because and that's also something that we sometimes hear. So whole team here does their best to kind of make sure Magma works well, not just on the like top devices, like very very strong, like powerful, let's say like PCs, but actually it's also accessible through mobile phones. So that's the goal, kind of build something like this, but also make it accessible to everyone, so everyone can kind of take part in the experience, and that's why it's also like such a challenging thing to create.
All right, perfect. Thanks for the showcase, Wojtek. Next, we're going to move on quite briefly to a second feature that we also have been developing, which is what we would like to call remixing. So as you can see on the screen, this is a unique way of viewing a canvas. So ideally, someone would either send you this link, or maybe, for instance, you might stumble upon this link when someone posts on the board, right? And then what remixing does basically is if you click this button, it automatically creates a copy of the original drawing in your art desk, which has very useful like applications in terms of, let's say you want to share a background with someone, or you want to share like a drawing template, maybe draw this in your own style, or maybe like a tarot card background, for instance, or maybe like a tutorial, for instance, on how to draw something. So we're still working on the remixing feature, but remixing is really coming in conjunction with another one of our major features, which is our gallery. So Marta, would you like to take this away?
Yeah, sure. So the gallery is going to be for now a part of thing that you already probably noticed in Magma Live, which is your public profile. Recently, we released public profiles. You could say some words about you, filling in the About section. But we are developing further this area of your self-presentation in Magma, and we are going to add soon possibility to publish images or select images from your art desk to display on your profile, like maybe a small sneak peek of what you do or the pieces that you're most proud of. So the three places where you could source your images for the gallery would be your recent images, your recent activity, your art desk, and whichever art jams you took part in. Obviously, all the participators will be tagged and credited in the artworks, and but also you can put some single player canvases in your profile as your showcase as well. Yeah, so this is the edit window where you post or you can add description to your drawing to be visible in the gallery. As you can see, we here have also some window that gives you information about protecting your art. This is something new that we would like to offer to all of you, and maybe Wojtek, you could give some few sentences about the partnerships we are going to have to make that possible.
Yeah, sure. I would even take a step back and say that I think we actually spent quite a lot of time thinking, because gallery is something that obviously like has been done by the others. Like there's, a lot of apps you can post your artworks and so on. But in Magma specifically, we kind of face some of additional challenges because, as Marta said, like a lot of artworks in Magma are collaborative. So you are really like thinking through, okay, how can we like still enable publishing, but making sure like every artist is properly attributed, because this is something that's kind of that's part of our mission, making sure that every artist is kind of accredited for their work, and it's like it's not easy to kind of impersonate someone or like claim their artwork as your own, and by adding such like interactive gallery in a way where you can publish but you can also remix, makes us really think hard about like what we can do to actually protect your art if you create it in Magma. And also there are like some global trends that also make this more important with all the machine learning and the AI models. Like publishing artwork like is always with a certain risk. So again, thinking about what we can like do as Magma to make this a kind of creative space that is protected or at least shielded from some of those problems is like big part of what goes into that. And as a part of that, like two of the partnerships that we established are with Glaze and Story. So Glaze is the not sure how many of you heard, but Glaze is this algorithm, this product which was developed to protect artworks from unauthorized AI training. So what it does, it actually like goes like it transforms your artwork in a way which is like barely visible to like human eye, but it prevents like AI models from being able to learn your style, and pretty much like it makes it much harder or impossible to include it in the training set. So additional layer of protection when publishing anything online. And the second partnership is more on the legal, more or on the kind of ownership side, where Story is a company whose mission is to regulate what was like to this point not well regulated in the internet, like in the online space. As in their goal is to actually make sure that every artwork or every piece of creation in the internet can be attributed to certain author. So it's kind of the base for making sure that every creator gets both attributed, but maybe even paid for all of their creations in the future. So working with them, the idea is that when you'll be publishing in Magma, you can choose to make sure that your artwork is being recorded as yours, and there is like proper license attached to this and some terms. And eventually later down the road, it could also mean that if you let others use your artwork under some commercial terms, you can get paid for it and so on. So just giving artists another way to monetize. So both of these like will be initially in beta. We still need to figure out some of those things, but we would really welcome feedback like of how many of you like these ideas, how many like would enjoy like signing into these programs and helping us to test out those integrations.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, one other really important thing is a lot of these stuff, as you can see, are in a dev environment, right? Like we haven't finalized most of these things yet. So if you do have any feedback that you would like to give, whether that would be in terms of remixing, galleries, or the multiboard, for instance, we really welcome your feedback. We've been really following what you guys were mentioning in like Canny, for instance, and in the feedback threads. And we really try to take all your feedback into account in order to develop features that we know you want, right? Other examples of other things in relation to the gallery, for instance, are like followers here. So you can also see their full tags. And in the future, you might be able to search for your friends, which could be quite exciting. Furthermore, in relation to the images that you post in your gallery, they also will be shown on your feed, right? So for instance, I followed Marta, and I also followed Ryan down here. When the posts show up, yes. And afterwards, I'll be able to see posts that my friends put on their galleries. So that's everything that I think.
If I can add something to this.
Yes.
So, sorry to interrupt.
It's okay.
I just wanted to add because it seems really important because sometimes when you're hanging out in Magma, we added followers. You can now view people who who you are following and who are following you from your profile, but also you will be able to see whenever they will post an open canvas with invitation, like whether or not they will host a jam or some other common canvas. So hopefully through the feed you would be up to date with whatever is going live on your small network of following and followers that we are slowly building here. Like links to art gems and open canvases will be also shareable on the feed, and from there you would be able to directly join activities from your following and followers.
Nice.
Amazing.
And one more thought from me is before we move on. Sorry, Sunget, but I also wanted to mention that when it comes to remixing, this is actually idea that also I think like large part comes from the community, because we regularly maybe like not all of us are like very regular participants in the jams, but we do actually like look through the jams a lot. Like we see what you all create, and we've seen that actually kind of like some kind of remixing has already been like happening in the art jams. So we've seen like all those jams, draw my OC in your style, which is kind of like asking others, hey, can you like, what's your idea for my character? Like how would you draw this? So we're just thinking that giving like it's fun on a single canvas, but also giving it some additional structure when you can later, maybe if you weren't part of a certain gem, but still see what was the kind of what was the original kind of like drawing, and then what people came up with as a result, as a remixes, would be like very fun way to kind of create something that is like learns like helps everyone to learn different styles and just create more ideas. So making this a bit more of a process that doesn't have to be necessarily live, but can be also like later published and browsed, could kind of additional way to explore all of those amazing creations.
Perfect. All right, so I think that should be everything in terms of new feature showcases. I will stop sharing my other screen here. And yeah, I think now it's time to move on to the Q&A side of things. All right, so Anya, would you mind pulling up a couple questions that some of our users have submitted? Like, we'd be more than happy to start answering them.
Awesome. So I've seen Ryan answer a few questions here. The one being if you can turn remixing off, and I believe that answer was yes, you can turn it off. We did collect some questions in the text channel for the previous day or so. So I'm going to bring them in no particular order. But the first one is Yaga's. So Yaga, would you like to ask your first question? Hopefully I'm not putting her on the spot.
Yeah, no, I'd love to. I just want you to pull it up so I can nail it in my first try. Ah. Yeah, I was just going to ask, have you ever seen any work created through Magma that left you blown away? Like, just inspired you with what people are capable of?
Oh, that's a good one. Who wants to start?
I was thinking about
Um,
there was someone who went by the name of Didier, I think, who was hosting these almost like he or she, I'm not sure, would do these quite like elaborate sketches and then kind of invite people to just add on and start coloring it and make like a full coherent drawing. And they were really detailed. It was quite wild to see that. I don't know if anyone remembers seeing those ones pop up from time to time, but those were really impressive.
Nice. To be honest, like for me, it's hard to pick a single artwork, I guess, because I would say I get amazed like every week or so. Like for example, recently when we released Blend Tool, we had some of the folks. I believe it was, I think I remember particularly there was this landscape drone, I think by Meg possibly. in the blend tool channel, which I was like, wow, so that's what like, that's what's possible with Magma blend tool. And I was like really, really amazed with like, and happy as well, because I think for the whole team, just seeing that, kind of the features we add allow to create even more amazing artworks is a big reward, especially for the blend tool, which has been like the top one requested feature. So that's probably, even more rewarding. And like from the top of my mind, I would also say that I think what always amazes me is the collaborative scenes where it actually is multiple artists working together on a single scene and it all coming together,
Yes.
especially if I don't see just the ready artwork, but I actually see the process where it's like some people are working on the sketch and the background, some people adding characters, and it all comes together in the end. That's kind of what really blows my mind. Like I think the first time when I seen this was maybe when we were like part of Lightbox 2020, I think, when it was online, and like there were some of these sessions where like those like live collabs of the scenes. I remember like it's really like mind blowing. So that's probably my some of my picks.
No, that's an amazing answer because it's so true, isn't it? When everyone comes together and just pulls this idea and they're all drawing these different sections, all like communing on this one idea. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. Anyway, thank you so much.
If nobody else is gonna go, I'm gonna go. I'm not a dev, but I've participated in like many paintathons over at Lightbox, and a lot of people use like only Magma for their whole thing, and I've seen such amazing works. Like literally, I used to do this group, like my team got together, and we would only use Magma, and those were always fun times. So like, yeah, I've seen some pretty crazy stuff come out of those competitions. Yeah.
I also want to shout out my goat Hope and Alive. When I first did my first drawing, my art jam, in which I hosted it with the drawing canvas. I know, Ryan, I know you pinged Hope. It was like, yo, Sung's doing a drawing of dragons in art jam. And then Hope and Alive just hopped in and started like drawing this like amazing, like tropical fish dragon. I was just, when I was drawing, I was like looking at it, I was basically stun locked because like that's some really amazing stuff. So shout outs to you.
Nice.
Nice.
Shall we move on to the next question then, just so we can get everybody's questions out the way?
So we have Cousin who asked, are the developers that work on Magma also artists themselves? What type of art and art programs do they use, if any?
Well, hopefully.
Can we mention other software? There is no other software. I'm using Magma only for designing apps as well.
I feel like she's not saying this at gunpoint at all.
I can start. Oh, unless you would like to start, Wojtek?
Go ahead.
Okay, no, I was gonna say, yes, I do art on the side. So I draw mainly for my friends. I don't really have like a public portfolio, but sometimes when I hop into canvases, I would say you mainly can see most of my work actually just either on an art jam or just when I'm testing something out, right? But as for what I mainly used, I started off on GIMP. That was an experience when I first began. And then afterwards, when I had a bit more exposure, I used to draw a little bit on Procreate, but then afterwards I transitioned over to Photoshop for more complex things. But then when Magma came along and I started working for Magma, I actually like just canceled my Photoshop subscription because I was like, I do want to get more used to Magma as a platform. So I would say nowadays, like Magma is the main drawing platform that I do use.
How about you, Wojtek?
Well, I'm drawing currently on the canvas, so judge for yourself whether I'm an artist or not. I definitely not consider myself as one. But what I would like to say that we, so obviously, like we have quite a few team members who either can draw or are artists. Like in case of Ryan Sungyat, we actually also like and that's an interesting story that that Radek, the original author of Collab Engine, is actually artist himself as well. So he's an artist and developer, and that's actually, I seen one of the questions like as well on the, so maybe I can as well mention the story. But so actually the story of like original story of idea for collab drawing was when Radek was like he was like he liked to draw, he was a great developer, and he was thinking, hey, I would like to use a software like to draw with my friends, but there's nothing like this out there yet. And then he kind of thought, well, maybe maybe I should just like create one. And initially thinking, no, it's like it cannot be done, it's too difficult. But he kind of gave it a try, and this is how like the whole story started. So Magma actually originated from an artist in an artist slash developer mind, which is, I guess, not surprising if you think about that, because who else could think about this? So that's kind of one thing. But also, what I want to mention is we actually also have, so for example, Tomek, who is developer who work on the blend tool, he also like draws a lot, and it's his hobby. So and it's not by accident, because actually when we are looking for the new folks to join the team, it's one of the questions we do ask, and we actually like we are always like very happy if like people who join us actually understand art and artists, because we found out that it really makes a difference when like creating tools that that just need to be working really well for artists.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, my background is actually in traditional art, but how long has it been now? 8 years or so. I started like getting into digital stuff, and I started out mostly using Photoshop, and then would bounce around because I got a YouTube channel as well. So part of what I do for that is testing stuff, testing different devices and then testing different software. So I tend to bounce around quite a lot. But Photoshop was where I was most comfortable with things, and then moved into Procreate. But now also needing to know sort of everything and all the intricacies of how Magma works. It's just little time to really like play around with other software. I just spend most of my time painting stuff in Magma actually. But occasionally we'll use something like Infinite Painter as well. Similar thing to Procreate. Yeah.
That's awesome. Did we hear from everybody, or
Alice? Marta?
Yeah, I believe I didn't speak yet. Yeah, so I'm also an artist. Originally, I also started out with traditional art. I used to attend a sort of a workshop school where like started off with art like very early on when I was still in grade school. And I attended that for nearly 7 years. And then later on, I learned about graphics, the graphic tablets, things like that. So I started off with some programs like MyPaint, Krita. Then later I tried different programs around. I'm still learning Photoshop right now, for example, and yeah, and also trying to work a bit in Illustrator. Also because I'm studying to be a graphic designer, so there's also some 3D art involved because I have to study that. Yeah, that's it for me.
cool. Well, if we're all good, I am gonna invite. Sorry if I like totally murder your name here. Greg McSystem to go ahead and ask the next question.
Hi. Yes. My question is, will there be an easier way to download images on the phone or tablet? Um, like directly to the photo app, not like into the files, because that's hard for me to get to.
Interesting. What phone are you using?
I'm
assume
actually using a
iPhone.
tablet.
Okay. because we have made it a little bit easier now, where in the top right we have this share button, and when you click on that, there's an option to download, or there's also share as a PNG, which opens up a new tab, and then you can kind of just press and hold on that image and then save to your gallery. I think that's probably one way where it will save to the gallery instead of save it as a picture file to your normal sort of camera roll, rather than just to your files.
I didn't even see that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that's super useful. I didn't even know that.
So what happens when you keep updating and shifting things around just to make it
Yeah.
a lot easier? Sometimes people who are more used
Keep
to
you guys on
the
your
older
toes.
side of things.
All right. So we have the next question from Liliur. Again, sorry if I'm mispronouncing anybody's name. What was the inspiration to create the Magma platform?
Yeah, so that I think maybe because I already mentioned the story of Radek being like the artist and developer who wanted to draw with friends, so I would say that was the main one. But I think I would say actually there's probably more to the story, because while that was the original idea for the like the collaborative engine, we actually also, like, some of the things we've been like thinking early on is that it does seem, if you think about like all the tools in the that artists are using, like, let's say Photoshop or like a lot of other software, a lot of these tools are kind of from the previous era. So like really like a single player software where you kind of like open it, get your like work on your art, and then just like publish it somewhere else. But it's really like not a social experience at all. Like none of the software like really implemented things like, chat or voice calls. You can't like connect with others. You can't really effectively like collaborate, exchange ideas. It has to happen through external platforms. And I think I do believe that just having tools which are limited in this aspect, it just changes the whole process, or even the way people think about things. So it just, we do believe that like software being collaborative, like software being by artists, is just like it just limiting, or like kind of not allowing some of the ideas that would otherwise like appear happen. And I think this is something like some of the other industries went through this phase where, for example, like for the product UX design, we had like Figma, which replaced like older software which was non-collaborative, just because it just created this new environment where everyone can chat with everyone. It's so easy to get feedback and thoughts from other folks. So I think that was part of the story as well. Like, how can we actually make art creation process something that's, collaborative in the very, like at the very core. So I think that's kind of the full story and the full maybe full vision of what we're, on the mission we're on.
I loved hearing that from you. Thank you. Okay, so we have our next one. Jaxo and I Eat Fridges are both asking, and I know a lot of people are asking too. This is the big question. Do you plan on adding any animation features on at some point? And if so, do you plan on allowing us to add audio?
The big one.
I guess I have to take this one. Well, long story short, we do think like animation would be like a great addition to Magma, and also because of that collaborative nature of things. So even at, in the professional studios, they like working on like animations, people do have to collaborate. So, there are artists specializing in the backgrounds, and there are artists specializing in the line work specifically, or even like doing in betweens, and they all have to kind of work together to create the final animation, and it takes a lot of work to combine things together. And even that as a reason is like, it seems important enough to create a software that would allow to do that collaboratively. However, we are also aware that, it's not an easy feat to do this, especially that, as I'm seeing in the chat, there are still some kind of core 2D features that we still need to work on. Like Liquify, I think, has been the top one that I seen in the chat today. So I think the way we think about this is we need to make sure that our 2D tools are in a really solid place, and we have all those like missing bits and pieces, maybe like layer groups or like the distort and warp tools that would allow everyone to be kind of not limited at all when like doing anything in Magma, and then probably looking at the animation as a next thing would make more sense. However, just seeing how this is popular, I wouldn't exclude it that at some point we're just gonna look at some simple ways to at least do some fun GIFs or like some ways to kind of export like some short sequences. But I don't want to promise anything yet either. I would just say that we do think that could be like very fun addition to Magma.
I just wanted to
Nice.
add that to whatever Wojtek said, that definitely frame by frame animation would be something closer to what you can do in an analog way in Magma now. You can basically draw on multiple canvases and then merge it together into a GIF, like few frame GIF somewhere else, right? So maybe something like this would be closer to what we would like to do, the direction where we are going, rather than the full on animation, like with motion tween and other like advanced tools that are characteristic for animation. So stay tuned and keep your fingers crossed. Pray to Pyro.
Pray to Pyro. That's so funny. So speaking of tools, I've gone ahead and gathered all the tool inquiries to get out of the way right now so that they're kind of on theme for what we're talking about. So there's Blacka asking for the liquefy tool. Will there ever be that? And there's one more, and it's implementing symmetry tool. So just thinking of like, will there be those features? Are you planning on it?
I would say, and that's probably like that's the one that also appears like quite frequently. It's on our Kami board, so definitely on our radar. I would probably I missed it earlier when I was mentioning kind of some of those important features, but I do think like symmetry is one of those we're gonna have to add before like venturing into, let's say, animation on other big things. However, like in in full transparency, it's currently like our focus is also like on that social aspect. So like as you've seen with the profiles and the gallery, this is something that the big part of like what of teamwork is going into, making sure that it's actually very easy to find your friends on Magma, do something together, because this is kind of something that also seems like has been like missing on the platform for a while. So this is kind of something that probably slows our progress on those core tools a bit. But we're still gonna be making progress. We're still gonna be working on those tools. Sometimes it's also like when we are actually thinking about which feature to, because maybe that's another question that everyone might be asking. Okay, so why haven't they done this yet? It's probably a big one. I would say that there's usually more to it than it's visible right away. So for example, some of the features, they actually have some technical dependencies that we need to take into the account. So like for example, I'm seeing someone mentioning Magic Wand in the chat. Seems relatively easy. However, when we look at this, then we realize that okay, but for to do that, we need to change a bit the way our selection in Magma works, because right now the selection doesn't include transparency into account. You either like select pixel or not. But with Magic Wand, you kind of, to make it work well, you need to have a little bit of degradation, and that kind of means that we need to do some like difficult technical changes to the whole like drawing engine, and often if something is like important but not implemented yet, or requested a lot but not implemented yet, it means that it's quite difficult and time consuming. So just like no excuses, but I just wanted to give everyone a bit more of a picture of kind of how the development of tools like Magma looks.
Nice. I'm seeing so much enthusiasm in the chat for like everything that we're talking about. This is amazing. And I'm super excited to see it too. I've got lots of people on the grouping the group layers. That train. It's a hype train. Yes. Okay, so the next one is from Cosmically, and they ask, And this is another one a lot of people ask too. Are there any plans to make an official Magma app for the phone and iPad?
Yeah, that's a difficult one as well, because on one hand, it probably would allow us, like as the dev team, would have more control about the environment, which would maybe probably make it easier to kind of fine tweak experience on any of those devices. But the downside is that we would have to support a lot of different systems and devices, and the team is not that big yet. So to be honest, I think we're primarily limited by the size of the team, by kind of the capacity, because if we have to support a lot of different apps, suddenly we'll be spending a lot of time on kind of doing that, rather than like building those new features which we still want to give the community access to. So I think this is something that probably will come when the app matures and we have like all those important things in place. And yeah, it's primarily like I think the question of like how much we can handle as a team. I guess like the reason why we went, or like maybe the outcome of the fact that Magma is web based, is that actually everyone can get access. So I think in the short term, what we're focusing now is making sure that Magma, first of all, works on phones and tablets, and second of all, that the experience is still is quite good and it's not cumbersome. So we have seen some feedback on the mobile experience that things are sometimes the screen is a bit too cramped. It's like some elements are small. Actually, like I think next or even like we already shipped a change where we're experimenting with something that we call or maybe Sungyat, you can tell more about this one. The super simple mode, as in.
Yes. So when it comes to trying to improve the experience of different apps, right? Some of you may have already seen, but we've developed a new mode called Super Simple Mode. I can just play it right now, but it's probably better if you were on your phone or your iPad, for instance, which really declutters the UI, so you can click open and like close certain parts of the features in order to really optimize for a phone and iPad. This was a really big product for us because it did involve basically redoing a lot of how the panels and everything on the side worked. Wojtek maybe want to talk a bit more about the technical side, but it was quite a challenge. But at the end of the day, when we looked at the feedback from everyone else, and also looking at like the stats themselves, like it shows that mobile experiences have gone up. People are spending a lot more time, and people are coming back, right? And like that fundamentally, at the end of the day, is what keeps us going. It's like if we see that our users are enjoying it, they're spending more time in Magma, and that they're really liking the experience, then we'll really keep going ahead and really decided to flesh it out a bit more. Like we just rolled out a new update today in which, for instance, new users who join Magma on their mobile device, super simple mode will be the starting setting that they start off with, right? So it's all about these little changes in order to really improve user experiences, which at the end of the day is what we really want to do.
Can I add something? Sung, please do
Yeah, sure.
a demonstration for everyone that you can now move the layer panel to your left-hand side.
Yes, like can shift it.
Oh!
I love that. Yo, you guys, I'd asked for that like a while ago. I was like, can I just like shift things so I can have them where I want them? Because that's how I use other drawing software. So that's amazing. Okay, that would okay, yes.
But you can only have one of those.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Only one of them is
Yeah,
movable.
one
Gotcha.
pop-up at a time, but still.
That's okay.
We haven't
Baby
made
steps,
it
baby
work.
steps.
Yeah. I was going to answer a quick question of Lil Painter that we haven't made it work for advanced mode yet. So unfortunately, the panels on the side are really for the simple mode for now, but it certainly is something that we can put on our radar.
Nice. Oh, that's so exciting. Oh man. So our next question is from Jaxo, and he's here to ask it live.
Yes, hello. I wanted to ask whether there will ever be added the option to make a custom brush shape, like in, for example, Procreate, where you import your own image to make a new brush.
Mhm. Long story short, definitely. It's actually internally our brush system is based or not, maybe not based, but it's compatible with the ABR brushes. So the plan is to eventually actually be able to even like import some of the brushes that you own and you maybe use in other software and just like map it to our brush system. Yeah, so definitely having like custom brush tip shape is one of those things. We actually even like thought about this a bit more, and eventually we're thinking about not just like allowing you to import and export brushes, but maybe even like share them with your friends, or maybe even having something like a kind of marketplace where you can like list your items, whether for free or for some fee. So that's definitely later down the road, but it's kind of part of what we also been thinking about that Sungyat mentioned, like figuring out how we can also add some elements to Magma where it's about fun, but it's also about like for some of you who are thinking more seriously about art career, like how to use your skills, kind of monetize some of the work you're putting into it, and like creating custom brush sets and sharing it with the community or selling those would be one of the things we also would we probably be experimenting in the future.
I do want to
If
interject.
I
We
can add
do have.
something, I
Oh,
remember. Oh, sorry, we
go
have
ahead, Marta.
little time, right? Okay, no, I just wanted to say shout out to Little Painter because I remember that we were on the jam one day together, and you shared a brush with me in a very analog way. And since then we were thinking like how to do it with one click, like how to send the file to each other on the canvas, because it's you see, you can get inspired on gems in different ways, like you can see different color usage, but also you can see brush tips that other people are using, right? Because now you can create your own presets. So it would be really cool to have option to share kind of the whole setting stuff and the complex part with each other. Thanks.
Nice.
I also remember someone had this idea to actually be potentially use kind of brushes as comments. So you just drop the brush on the canvas and everyone can grab it, which could be like super fun way to share things. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a great addition. People have already been doing that on the Discord. I'm going to link in chat. There's like a full text channel where people are just sharing their brush settings. And so as you guys advance the brush tools, they're like getting more and more complex. And it's just lovely to see the community sharing those things. Yeah. Okay, so I think our
I think we
next
need some more brush shapes.
question. Oh yeah. Yeah. Our next question is Yaga's.
Hey. Yeah, I wanted to ask you guys another follow-up question, a little personal question. But what kinds of boards are your favorite types to see on the art jams?
Color palette.
Oh, those are
Yeah.
yes.
Color palette is quite goated.
It is satisfying.
Yeah, color palettes are always eye candy, right? Because they look so impressive and unified. But I like for example, all the creative stuff, like which is unexpected for me, like the things that I have no idea about, and then I jump in, like the trends that are there and I have no idea about, or the universums that I have no idea about, like some kind of fan art. And it's so cool to see how many different great characters can be drawn, like or even versions, like when somebody posts their OC and all the others like jump in to give it their own interpretation. That's super amazing to see all the shapes and all the proportions, different styles that people are using. So it's like amazing to see all the jams actually for me.
I would
That's
say
cool.
that my favorites are the one with the photo background, because every time when I watch these jams, it's like you just start from this plain location and suddenly it's just filled with characters and life and in a ways that I would never think of. So I think like those are like the most fun for me to watch.
Yeah, I think for me it's also the color palette ones. But I was chuckling the other day. I popped into one of these these smash or pass kind of jams. And what I particularly liked about it, the person who was hosting it drew really well. I forget the Magli, something like this was the name of the user, and just the way they had drawn the responses to each of the different characters, like obviously having their consistent visual style and then changing up the expressions and creating this whole other illustration next to each one. I thought it was cool to see that. So sometimes people get stuck in drawing things maybe like the same way, but with this you were seeing like all these different expressions from the same character, which was awesome.
I think I'm a sucker for our events and the live streams we used to do. I have like fond memories associated to all of them. So for me, it's just all the canvases from the live streams and from the Discord events. They hold a special place in my heart. Okay, so I think we have another question from Cosmically. Would there be any features to prevent raids? Apparently he keeps getting raided by like multiple people at once come into the canvas, and I don't know what they're doing, but potentially griefing and all of that.
I think definitely like moderation and well, okay, first of all, maybe I'll just start by saying that we were very worried before launching our gems. Like there was a lot of like internal concerns, like there's gonna be like bad stuff happening. And I think we all were very surprised with that actually it turns out that, like the amount of, let's say, users that how to frame it, that are like not making the experience of like others is not really like that big. So it really seems that, like our community is really it's just great. It's like, not a lot of like, issues like in terms of that do require moderation. Nevertheless, like we do know that some of these things happen. So we added reporting a while ago, so you all can kind of let us know if something is going on. And we are normally just looking at these issues and trying to figure, like, because there are different kind of things reported, and then we usually like just discuss like what are the other ways that we can kind of prevent it on a larger scale, because obviously like we can't be on all the canvases all the time. So we are trying to figure out what are the ways to actually give, let's say, RGAM owners like more tools to prevent some of those things. So while maybe, I don't have the definite answer, I would say that the moderation discussion and like how to prevent some of those issues is like ongoing thing that we're like regularly discussing as we see some of these problems emerge.
Shout out to I think Nexus.
Yeah, maybe
Nexus on the mod team, who's also
sorry, go ahead.
moderating the jams. So yeah, big shout
Indeed.
out. I think he's in the audience actually. Yep. Hi Nexus.
Yep.
Hello.
Nice.
Yeah, well, and definitely, big thanks to our moderation team, because like the team is really like doing putting a lot of effort to make sure that our gems and Magma at large stays a safe and positive space. It's actually something that we also like as a company. This is something we strongly believe in, that we want Magma to be like space open for everyone and like positive, and it's generally part of like our, whenever we think about new features, we never skip thinking about like potential negative impact, like what can we do to limit it. It's literally like part of our development process. So yeah, it's quite important.
We'd love to hear it. Okay, so the next question is from Sani, and he's here to ask it live. Oh, mic check.
We
Mic
cannot
check.
hear it.
Oh no.
I love your profile picture with the black cat.
You guys, the cats. Oh, let's give them a moment here. Okay, they're gone. I will ask them back on stage when they come back. But while they're gone, give me one moment here. This is another question from Stixel. Any idea on adding a messaging board or friend system of some kind in Magma? I don't think they know that we do have a friend system you can like follow, but Yeah.
Marta, any thoughts from you, maybe, or I seem
Yeah, well, yeah, recently we added profiles which you can follow. So this would sort of work as a friend request or friend connection. And in network connection, you can create a list of or keep people in the list of your followed users. Also, we have a section with which we called recently drawn with, where you can meet new people that you interacted on an activity before. And yes, probably if we will go for more network building in Magma as a platform, then probably in some scenarios it would be handy to have messaging, like private messaging or any like chat that would be before starting an activity, like an RGM, to settle some rules, like what is the canvas size. Maybe some people would have problems to join the canvas if it's going to be too big, or what's the color palettes, any any rules. And yeah, so eventually probably that's a necessity that is hard to avoid. But I guess first thing to do would be maybe to enhance our current solution of chat with some more additions that would help you express yourself better and interact with each other better, and maybe they then translate it to private messaging, I think, because yeah, chat is there already. So.
Nice. All right, let's check on Thani if they can use their mic now.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello.
Yes, we can.
Hi, people. Okay, so I'm Sani. I'm a bit nervous right now. Pardon my English, but I have a question, and I've been holding this question for a while. So this is a great opportunity to make the question, which is more about the team than the program itself. And we know that the Art Jams was a big update where people can talk to each other, meet new artists, you know. Lately, I found artists that they make some live streams on Magma. They open the canvas for people to watch the drawing, and it's a great artist. And I want to ask you guys, what's the feeling like? Because we have almost 10,000 people in the Discord server, right? That's a lot of people. And I really want to ask, how is the feeling of seeing so many people here, seeing so many support, how people get excited every time you guys bring a new update or a live stream, or how many people get like on the live calls when Anya opens a hangout or Cybernautic opens a hangout. And I really want to know a bit more of this personal part, you know, of how great it became, like if you guys ever imagined how big this community got into today. And will still grow more, right? Because it's growing little by little each day.
Do you want to start, Wojtek?
Yeah, I have my thoughts, but I'm actually curious about like everyone else's thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, bringing up like the art jams, for example, was a good one. I mean, obviously these things take a lot of effort, and I think for those of you, most of you here are artists, and maybe some of you have tried to like sell your art before, and you might be familiar with this feeling. But you know, when you put a lot of time and effort into something, and then it just kind of nobody really responds to it, or you put it out there for sale, like no one really engages with it. It hurts. It hurts down here. But when someone comes up to you like, "Hey, I want to buy this from you," you're like, "Wait, what? This thing I did, you actually want to use it? You want to do something with it? You want to put it on your wall?" It's extremely motivating when you get that kind of feedback. So when we put out a feature that we've put so much effort into, and people really start to like run with it and do things with it that we hadn't expected, it's like, oh, cool! Like, what can we do next? Like, it really does kind of get you quite psyched for working on the next feature or seeing how you can improve the existing one based on what people are doing with it.
I would say that so like I in my career I work I think for like close to 10 different startups, and Magma is like hands down the most exciting one to work on, precisely because of the community. It's just like super exciting to see that whatever we do makes an impact, and to so many people, but it's also actually the responsibility. So often it's a fun thing, but often it's also makes it's quite sometimes difficult, making these decisions, figuring out, okay, like we have limited resources. What do we do? Like, how do we still make sure that, you all like what we ship? So I would say sometimes it's even like mixed feelings. But I think overall, like, I feel for me, this is a really big motivator, that kind of makes it super exciting every day to to go to work and like think about like what's next. I would also say, if I'm being like completely honest, I think that Magma team is like the most hardworking team I've ever seen. So we actually don't like, most of the time we actually are focused on what's next. Like what else do we do to make it even better? It's like not often that we just like, sit down in the armchair and kind of, pat ourselves on the back. So I think we should maybe do that a bit more. And actually, that's also why I'm like very happy to that we're doing this event, because I think this is also good opportunity for also us to realize like it really matters. It really like makes a difference to like the community. So I guess thanks for everyone for joining today and giving us this chance to kind of hear all those nice words.
Absolutely. For me, with the community, like it's just so lovely to have people show up every week to get to know them. And Magma has this like really unique ability to make a very intimate, emotional, and singular act into something you can actively engage with people while you're making it. And that's there's a closeness to that. There's like a really interesting, like you can see people's process kind of a thing. It's very intimate. It's very it's fun, and it's wonderful to engage with people at all levels of the spectrum of art. And so I really like encourage you guys, if ever you're looking to not only be on the same canvas, but hang out with some of your most like engaged users. I love that you brought all this to us, Saini. I'm just gonna pop in the chat. I'm gonna take a moment to do some like promo. Here are our 2 weekly events here on the Discord. You guys can come to Saturday night at 6:30 p.m. EST. We have Cybernauts casual hangout. We all draw to a theme on the board, and we post the board in multiplayer art later. And then Art Jelly every Monday at 3 p.m. EST. And it's basically the same thing, but we post it to the art jams. So you guys are all super welcome to come join those events. And of course, every now and again, we're going to be doing AMAs. Yeah, this is super great time, and I'm super excited for this community. It's true, we are almost about to hit 10,000 users on the Discord. So yeah, congrats, guys.
Ooh.
Big props for hosting all these events as well.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I
and the
couldn't do it
rest
with
of
all
the team.
the mods. The mods are like epic. So yeah, it's the team, Dreamwork. So I think we have one last question. We have from Arthur Dreamer. Was custom text an idea for Magma? And if so, are there any plans for custom text now? Like a font name? Like different fonts?
As in, like, creating your own fonts on Magma?
Maybe.
Or, like,
I'm not sure.
uploading fonts?
There wasn't very much clarification on the question. But yeah, custom fonts, anyone?
So I guess I'll take that one. As probably from the group from the team which is gathered here, I spent almost as much time as our main developer for the textile. Almost, which is like understatement, right? He spent much more. Yeah, so for textile is also still quite fresh considering like all other tools. We introduced it like more than 1 year ago, I think. So still we're researching the use and adoption of this tool in different canvases, as also like your use cases, your actual user stories. So thank you, Ryan, for posting that image to request more fonts. Like, it would be really cool. Like, we were talking about how a great community is in Magma. So definitely do not hesitate to reach out to us. Do not hesitate to give your feedback. If you have like a special use case for a particular typeface that you're missing from the app, or for example, you need more comic book fonts, or you need to more languages because you are from a different region than Latin speaking, Latin alphabet languages, and we are happy to hear that from you, and make it possible for you to use whatever you need for Magma, especially for fonts. Fonts are quite varied. You can have fonts that have different purposes, different styles. So definitely we would like to make it so everyone can find something for themselves, like for comic books, for manga, for different projects, maybe handwriting, etc., and make it easy for you to use. So yeah, I guess if there's gonna be more fonts, definitely yes.
Nice. Nice. I believe that's all the questions we had today, unless anybody wants to ask a quick one in the chat. Yeah, I just want to thank all of you for doing this today. It's really lovely to see you guys taking the time to come into the Discord and do this. So thank you, everyone.
Thanks to
Thank you
everyone
guys
for
for being
also
here.
showing up and asking such
Mhm.
excellent questions.
Ooh, Flora has one. Oh, when is the templates going to come out?
So
The
remixing?
templates. Is that what she means?
You know, in our new file modal, there's the templates page. So we're kind of gathering some information about the types of templates that people would like to see there. No set date on it, but it is part of the broader feature set that we're busy working on. So it'd be good to get your suggestions there. I can post a screenshot of that too. Why not?
Perfect.
While I'm here.
Yeah, we
Nice.
were
Yes,
actually just
definitely.
also.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say for all people who maybe didn't notice the advert about templates, we would like to make it possible for all the creators who would like to create like body bases or comic book frames or any other resources that can be useful for others, whether it is for like fine art drawing, like figure drawing, or jams and games, like fun events. Then we want to make it happen for you. We want to make it easy to select a template, and because I think, like, as maybe fellow artists can confirm, that starting from an empty canvas is sometimes intimidating, and it's kind of scary to put that first brush stroke, right? So sometimes it's better to have something like even a gray background there.
Yep.
To make it easier. So
Plus, one of the things we actually just discussed, I think, this week is like how we can also make creation of art jams easier, because some of you come up with those templates, and if you were like, if you wish to share this with others to make them like able to follow your idea or your trend for the jam, that would also be great if we could like spotlight some of those templates for everyone to be able to create these fun gems. But yeah, that's something we're also like kind of thinking that would possibly make it easier to start new fun stuff on our gems. So yeah, definitely making it easier to kind of get started is I think big one for that we're like thinking of the ways to do that.
Perfect. Well, again, thank you so much, everyone. You guys quite literally make our favorite multiplayer drawing app like a thing. So thank you guys. And also thank you to Yaga for helping me moderate this event. Just literally wouldn't be possible without everyone involved. So thank you guys. Thank you for showing up, everybody.
Thank you.
We had a great time. This is so exciting. All right, see y'all.
Thanks everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks for
Bye.
coming.
Thank you. See ya.